And welcome to episode 45 of the Odyssey Hour. We are three of your hosts, and the only three you're going to get tonight. It is
Yep.
is it is the boys' night out, so to speak, here tonight. And for anybody who is looking at my screen and wondering what happened to that nice Odyssey or the nice Odyssey Paranormal Society Unity banner, uh, I am currently still at our new office. So, those of you who don't know, and a lot of you don't, um, Odyssey Events LLC and the subdivision Odyssey Paranormal Society now has a new headquarters. It's just usually I'm home by now, which is why you have not seen it yet. But uh, yeah, I have not got it home yet. It's been quite a day, busy day. So
Yeah.
here we are, and Haley and Lauren are busy doing other stuff, which apparently is more important than this. So
Some people just have their priorities, I guess.
well, not everyone has them correct.
Yeah, I'd agree. It is truly a shame that Haley would rather spend time with her family than do this show.
She only sees us once a week. She
Yeah.
sees her family all the time.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they are not here, which is completely understandable. So what we are going to do is, I don't think that the topics that we brought tonight are going to cover the whole hour. So don't worry, we're not going to end early. We never end early. But we are probably going to then bring in some Reddit stories, which I'm sure are going to make me cringe, as they typically do. So, who would like to go? Oh, no, that's right. One of the things I don't even know if it's been posted on Odyssey Paranormal Society yet. It should be. And if it is, I'm going to have to talk with my director of promotions. But we are returning to Ashmore Estates in May of next year. So for anybody who doesn't know about Ashmore, or anybody who doesn't know where that is, it's in Ashmore, Illinois, which is about an hour and a half from St. Louis, right around there. About an hour south of Champaign, Illinois. That's usually a more well-known city, but it's a 9-hour drive for us up here in the cities. Or is that just to the hotel where we stay that first night, and then it's another hour?
Yeah, I think it's 9 hours to Champaign and then another hour to Charleston, which is where Ashmore is.
Yeah, just a hair outside of Charleston. You're right. So, what did I say? May 27th and 28th, I believe it is.
I think so.
And it's another 2-day event. So VIP tickets, which are only $150, include what? What does that look for?
No, it's just kind of disgusting how good of a deal that is.
Is that what happened? Oh yeah, my god!
Like,
I can't believe.
How could you not do this?
Well then, proceed. But yeah, so $150 is VIP, and that includes. There's only 8. There's only 8 of these tickets available, so you can join us on Friday night, and that's it. The 8 VIPs and us. That's all that's in the building. Your lodging is covered for the 2 nights because they have bunk houses outside the property. So you're on the property, but not in the building, which is very important, I think. But yeah, and you get to spend the whole weekend with us. You also investigate Saturday, and then obviously Saturday night with any of the other people that join in. But anybody who's been to one of my events knows I try to keep the guest list small so that it's a very intimate and authentic experience when it comes to how an investigation proceeds at a historic location. And we have all, even me, have had our fair share of experiences when it comes to Ashmore States.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I don't want to go as saying that we can guarantee you're going to have an experience, because
no,
we can't do
nope,
that, and we're also not going to make them do things to you, because that's
nope,
not how we roll investigations. But
nope.
I will say, I'm pretty sure the hit rate of people that have gone and have had experiences in the past has been 100%. So, especially the kitchen dining area, that
Yep.
place is crazy. Um, so I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite places to go. It's really safe in there for the most part, and you're going to be around people who are very, yeah, I can't say totally safe, but
For the most part.
I mean, that's true for the most part. It is. Um, but you're with not professionals, but like you're with people who know what they're doing, and
I,
it's gonna be a good
now,
time.
now hold on, because I know we like to say there's no experts in the paranormal, and that is absolutely true. There are no experts. You will never see us call ourselves experts on anything that have to do in the paranormal. However,
Mhm.
there's a huge difference between expert and being professionals. And I don't think that there's anything. I definitely think that we are professionals.
Okay,
So,
I
so
retract my statement. You're with professionals.
there you go. Professional paranormal investigators,
Hmm.
us. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a fun time, and there may even be a few surprises, like not bad surprises, not like we're gonna like shove you down the boiler room and slam the door and say like good luck to you.
Yeah. No.
But
No.
there are a few celebs that we are in the process of trying to get to go there, and um, they're I think they're just doing it to get my goat, but they won't tell me that they're going to come. They're gonna come. But yeah, so you're gonna have a chance to probably not only investigate with us, but investigate with some people who you've probably seen, whether it be at streaming services or even cable television, which I guess is more demeaning than anything.
Yeah. Nobody watches cable TV
Yeah.
anymore.
We're on cable. What makes you important?
I love how we've gone full circle from cable TV, satellite TV, and then the stream services started happening, and like, oh, we're gonna save so much money. But now it's the same fucking thing, because now everybody has all the streaming services, which adds up to basically the cost of cable. So it's
And
all around again.
some of the streaming services include commercials anyway.
Yeah, exactly. My Hulu, I have to watch commercials. Great.
Discovery Plus has commercials unless you pay extra for commercial less.
Yeah. At least I get my Hulu for like $2 a month because I'm a student.
Well, there you go.
That's a good deal. But then I won't be a student in like 3 years, so then I'll have to pay full price again.
Which is what, like $4.99?
Yeah, I guess the commercial one is not bad, and then it's like $9.99 for no commercials.
Of course it is. Got to have that convenience charge in there.
Yeah, honestly, the commercials aren't that bad. Like, you usually only get 30 seconds to a minute, and then I just like check my phone or some shit, you know? So,
Scott, do you have any of the streaming services, or do you just stick to DVDs?
I've got Amazon.com.
So you got Prime.
Prime, yeah. Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
about it.
Well,
I can't
sometimes
do
afford
you have
it.
cable?
No,
No?
no.
no. That's why his walls are lined with DVDs and Blu-rays.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
um. So, but yeah, if you want to join us for that, getting back into Ashmore, 150 for VIP. Tickets are definitely going to sell out for that. In fact, half of them are already gone. But then it's 70 just for Saturday. But it's truly going to be a great weekend that you can join us for that. We have a hell of a lot of fun. And honestly, I guess I never even really considered this until now, but Ashmore has started a lot of friendships um, for us. We met Alan and Alyssa
Yeah.
at Ashmore for the first time.
Hmm.
We met Justin and Brent and for the first time, and Justin's already bought tickets.
Hmm.
So I mean, they've been there every time that we've been back. These events are pretty sweet. Not just for the investigation, but just for the relationships that they forge.
Hmm.
And I'm definitely getting back there and see what's up. See Sue. Haven't seen Sue in
Yeah.
obviously 2 years.
We love Sue.
Sue is amazing. So yeah, you can go to odysseyevents.llc.com. You can get your tickets for that there. You can go to Odyssey Events LLC here on Facebook and find the link there as well. But yeah, I hope some of you guys will. I know most of you people watching this are from the cities, so if you want to, maybe you can caravan down with us if you if you want. That'd be kind of sweet.
Yeah, no, it would. And I just want to say too, like, it's probably, I will go so far as saying that this is probably the most authentic investigation experience you're ever going to get, because based on what we've heard from other events like this,
That's true.
they don't do it like we do it. So,
Nope. But maybe that's nope. I'm not going to say that.
nice restraint, Mike. Good restraint.
I'm evolving, Sam.
You are.
So, all right. Who would like to go first with their topic?
Well, do you want a philosophical topic?
Sure. Well, because I remember, was it 2 weeks ago? I think it was
Mhm.
2 weeks ago. You were talking about how you had something you really wanted to, but we obviously ran out of time. Now,
Yeah.
do you want to wait until everybody's here, or do you want to ask?
I think it would be interesting to get everybody's take on my topic. I've been holding on to this one for like 3 weeks at this point. So, but somebody else can get their topic, and maybe we'll see if I can think of another one to say today.
Gotcha. Scott, you want to go? Did you have one? Because like 75% of the time, you don't actually come with a topic.
That's true. And
Even though the sole responsibility you have, like you have one job, and that is to come up with a topic.
And it's not that easy to do.
That's true.
Have you seen Lauren's binder? Apparently it is.
Well, she's not
That's
here.
Lauren.
That's Lauren.
Yeah.
I know.
Mike, do yours.
I'll do mine. Scott, you continue to look for yours. All right. I would like, I think we have briefly mentioned this like way back in the early days of the Odyssey Hour. I would like your opinions on the Bermuda Triangle.
It's a good movie.
There's a lot of things good about it.
Yeah.
A lot of things bad. So I guess putting the pros, good movie.
Yeah, put that in the pros column. I don't know, the Bermuda Triangle, I haven't done a ton of research on it. I know there is a zone in the Bermuda Triangle where there are like literally like no like prevailing winds or something like that, or like basically like a point in there where you can't travel by sailboat, or it's like very hard to travel by sail. I obviously don't have my facts straight on the Bermuda Triangle, but I do think it's fascinating how, it's just apparently it's just one of those areas where weird shit happens and a lot of people disappear. And maybe that's just because of how it's organized geographically, or there's something going on there. I don't really know. You guys know I'm not one to jump on the alien bandwagon very much. But I do think it's one of those things on Earth that is like fascinating to like uncover what's actually happening. So those are my thoughts on the Bermuda Triangle.
I guess I was expecting more than that, but okay.
Well, there's a lot, not just ships, but planes, and there's a whole long list of people and things that have disappeared there.
Yep.
And but it wasn't a movie. It was a mini series on television called The Triangle, which I
Gotcha.
liked. And the theory on and that I don't know if you've seen it, but the theory in that miniseries was that the United States set off a nuclear explosion in that area, and it ripped a hole in the space-time continuum, so that ships and planes and people were disappearing into different time periods. And the scientists were trying to stop the U.S. The military from detonating this thing, so that to get rid of the Bermuda Triangle. And I won't tell you how it ended, but it was a pretty good show. But that, I think that's as believable as any other theory that's been come up with. But the shift in the space-time continuum thing is something that that theory has been played with for a long time. Yeah, a lot of people believe strongly in it, and a lot of people don't. But military aircraft and ships have disappeared in there, as well as civilians. So, and sometimes they've disappeared while they were talking to the air traffic controller, and all of a sudden they disappeared from radar and from from talking to them, and nobody knows what happened to them. So, and who knows? Maybe we'll find out. But there are several other places in the world that have similar things happening.
I cannot tell you how many triangles there are.
Yeah.
There is the Bermuda Triangle. There's the Bridgewater Triangle. There's the Lake Michigan Triangle. There's the Alaskan Triangle. There's like the Japanese Dragon Triangle or whatever it is.
Why does it have to be a triangle every time?
I don't know.
But it is.
It is, yeah. I don't know. Maybe the Lake Michigan Square just doesn't have the same ring to it. I honestly don't know.
I guess not.
And then there's that one in New England too.
That's the Bridgewater Triangle.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Yep, that's the Bridgewater Triangle. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Alaskan Quadrilateral just did not roll off the tongue very well.
I like the Alaskan dodecahedron.
I could get behind that. I have no idea what it is, but I can get behind it.
I mean, that's a 3D shape, but
a 3D shape, like a cube.
But it sounds more Greek. Yeah,
it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, were you done, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I know that Dave and I have done the Bermuda Triangle. We did a show on it. So, but because I'm not home, I don't have access to my research. But I mean, obviously, the Bermuda Triangle goes from Miami, Florida, to Bermuda down to Puerto Rico, and that whole entire area is considered the Bermuda Triangle, which is also known as the Devil's Triangle. Of course, it is. Why wouldn't it be? But yeah, aircraft have gone missing. Boats have gone missing. I found this to be very, very interesting because it actually had scientific proof to it. And I saw I knew of this story, but I saw a reminder of it when I was watching a show last night. And that's kind of what inspired this. And this guy did back and forth trips from Miami to I don't know where. I can't remember what the origination. It was somewhere inside the Bermuda Triangle to Miami. And he would make these trips all the time, like 2 or 3 times a week. And it was just him and I think it was like a biplane. So it was like a 2-seater or something that would carry a few passengers, but not a big commercial airplane. And every trip would be the exact same. So they have like documentation of exactly, how much fuel was used, how long it would take to get there and back, blah, blah, blah. Well, so one day he's flying to Miami and he's about, I don't know, 20 minutes into the flight, something like that. 45 minutes, I think he said, is into the flight. It's an hour and 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, like these line of clouds like encircle him, almost like what you would see with a wormhole. And he flies in it, flies through it. He's in it, I think, for 5 minutes, something like that. All of a sudden, he comes out the other side, and Miami is right underneath him. Like he's reached his destination. And so he lands, and he checks his watch, and what always has taken him like an hour and 20 minutes, he did in like 45. And then he always fuels right when he lands. And instead of like 100 gallons, he took in like 75. So he used less gas, less time on the same flight he's done many, many other times. And this little portal or wormhole or whatever, he went through. I mean, I find that to be extraordinary. I mean, because you have the documentation. Like you have him taking off at this place at, where he always does. You have the log records, you have everything. And then you have him landing 35 minutes or whatever prior to when he should be. It's used less gas, less time. How the hell do you explain something like that?
Yeah.
So I definitely like that. I know one of the other, and I think that this explains a lot of the ships. And I didn't even know this was possible until I started doing research. But there are quiet your seat if you can. So anyway, yeah. So I didn't even know that this stuff existed, but apparently, I mean, obviously there's methane and stuff that the Earth releases. That's nothing new. But what I didn't know is that even on water, if you hit like a pocket of like this methane gas or whatever, it gets rid of ship buoyancy and you just sink. Like you just sail around and you're gone.
Holy shit.
And had no idea that actually that was a thing. But apparently that is an actual scientific thing, that like these big pockets of methane or whatever will get rid of like ships' ability to float, and down they go. So I'm wondering if maybe some of these ships that have sunk or disappeared hit one of these and they're just down they go. But I mean, they had a bunch of, but they're like huge ships, like military type ships. The USS Cyclops, that had a crew of 309. And on March 4th, 1918, departed from Barbados, disappeared. They do think that maybe it was storms or capsized or, anything like that, but gone. Still, I don't even think it's been found yet. Let's see here. They had the KC-135 Strato tankers. That's always interesting. That's a U.S. Air Force. But yeah, I know it's not part of this, but I know that there's been a bunch of shows that have documented a military training exercise where I think like 9 planes something like that. I think it was like 6 to 9 planes. All of them disappeared,
Yeah.
and so they sent out like search and rescue. And I think one of those planes then disappeared.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I mean it's just flipping amazing the things that have happened, and I was just curious what you thought of stuff like that, um, because obviously they're never found. The ships, I think I can understand, but the planes, not so much. I mean,
Yeah.
we have radar, we have instrumentation. They're in the air. They can fly above the clouds. They can do all kinds of shit, but yet they go through some fluff of fluffy clouds and they never emerge.
Yeah. Honestly, I like the wormhole theory.
You think they're just somewhere else in another space and time?
Yeah, honestly, like I don't know if what Scott said was true about the nuclear experiment. Because
Well,
I know the huh?
that was just a mini series made up thing. They didn't actually do that.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
It wasn't a documentary.
No.
sorry, I misunderstood that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess it would explain that the pilot that made that flight to Miami in record time, basically. I guess you could probably explain that away with weather if you wanted to. Obviously, I'm not a meteorologist, but
Strong tailwind.
yeah, very, very strong tailwind.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is fascinating, and the fact that it keeps happening over and over again, and even like very recent accounts of things disappearing in there, So yeah, I find it to be fascinating, but yeah, who knows what the hell is happening?
Gotcha. All right.
And
Scott,
not necessarily in the Bermuda Triangle, but other places around the world too. I think it's interesting where the ships they find the ships, but no people on board. You know,
that I find truly interesting. Yeah. Um, I've done a lot of research on ghost ships. Um, and yeah, those fascinate me. I think they're amazing. There have been some claims of like a ghost ship that disappeared like 40 years prior, and they suddenly discover it's still sailing with no people on it, no nothing. Nobody's seen it in 40 years, and all of a sudden somebody comes around, and then it disappears again.
Yeah.
But the show that I was watching, because a friend of mine is a part of it, is the Alaskan Triangle. And what I found absolutely unbelievable is that 16,000 people have gone missing in the Alaskan Triangle and never been found. Like 16,000 people.
Damn.
Whether on ships, whether on planes, whether they just go hiking, they're never seen again. And I was like, holy crap. I mean, especially for a place like Alaska that like has 16,000 people in it total.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously it's a little bit more than that, but you get my gist. Uh, I found that to be unreal. But yeah, so if,
And then
if
there was that I think it was a battleship that was in Pennsylvania, in the Bay of Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, whatever. Yeah, I think it was Philadelphia. And the entire battleship disappeared and then reappeared several years later. You know, and nobody ever figured that one out either.
were the people still on board, or was it just the ship?
No, I think the people were still on board, and they didn't realize that they had gone anywhere. So,
Well, that's time travel right there, if you ask
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, I did not know anything about that.
I think that's a true story. You know,
Oh, come on, Scott. You
but
think that's a true story?
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that one.
It's been and some people believe that it was um, not an accident, but something that the government was experimenting with.
Oh, I remember this story. Yeah, the truth behind World War II's creepy Philadelphia experiment.
Oh.
Uh, the USS Eldridge is a Cannon-class destroyer escort, was conducting top-secret experiments designed to win command of the oceans against the Axis powers. The rumor was that the government was creating technology that would render naval ships invisible to enemy radar. And there's the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, and it was time to test it out. Witnesses claim an eerie green-blue glow surrounded the hull of the ship as her generators spun up, and then suddenly the Eldridge disappeared. The ship was then seen in Norfolk Naval Shipyard in Virginia before disappearing again and reappearing back in Philadelphia. The legend states the classified military documents reported that the Eldridge crew were affected by the events in disturbing ways. Some went insane, others developed mysterious illnesses, but others still were said to have been fused together with the ship. Still alive, but with their limbs sealed to the metal. Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But it said it's a legend.
No, they didn't. They said the truth behind. No, they didn't.
I thought I heard you say legend.
Oh, military urban legends ever. You're right. I guess I missed that part.
Yeah. Just like, there's no way that's fucking real. No way.
Let's see here.
Live research, everybody.
There we go. Well, when the ladies aren't here, this is what people get. Anyway, yeah, the Eldridge. I think I've read that story before. That I completely spaced on that. You're right.
Yeah, I'm gonna lump that in with the Russian sleep experiment and things people made up that are believable but not true.
That's fair. Which one of you guys would like to go next? Oh, come on.
I mean, I haven't thought of anything else. Oh wait, no. I had something that I was thinking about.
Scott, how about you?
Well, I've got a question, but I don't know if it's worth asking.
It's always worth asking.
But I don't remember where I got it from. It came up, but somebody asked the question: if you were able to travel back in time, what would you do or say to the people there to convince them you were from the future?
Did it say what time?
It said, what did it say? 18, I think 18 in the 1800s. It said.
Okay, so travel way back. I would think my clothes and the way I talked. I think that enough would either convince them that I was from the future, or they would burn me at the stake.
Yeah, that's what you risk, is people just shooting you or like killing you, like murdering you. I don't know. I think if I had like the choice of like where I was transported and like exactly what date I was transported, I would choose a date before like an important event happened. And I'd be like, "Oh, bye, Mike." I would choose a day before like an important event happened, so like in the 1800s or something, like the day before what's a good event to use? I don't really know, but the day before an important event, and say like, this is going to happen at this time, blah 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 blah, where there's like no reason I should know that, and then it happens, and then I think people would probably begin to be like, wow, maybe he is from the future.
Like the assassination of Lincoln or something.
Yeah.
No, that would not be the event that I would choose, because if you know
Yeah.
about the assassination of Lincoln ahead of schedule,
Yeah,
you're
right.
going to be burned at the stake.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That is not that is why people, I think, choose lunar eclipses, or solar eclipses. They're like, look, I can blot out the sun.
Well, see, in the 1800s, we already knew when those were going to happen.
Oh, well, you said a time before a certain date. You didn't say you were at the 1800s.
Well, isn't that what Scott said? The
Well,
period
that's
of
what
time.
Scott said, but you sounded like you were changing the parameters.
No, I'm saying like within the 1800s, if I could choose
Oh,
the
okay.
exact, moment in time to go back, then I could be like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. I can say these things are going to happen, and they come true. Blah blah blah. But yeah, I think you're right about like clothing and the way you talk as well. Can also be a big factor.
Yeah, that's when you like go to the bordellos, and you're like, I've got a book that you might be interested in.
Yeah.
Hope you've stretched.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm going to be doing some future shit on you. But I honestly, I like the way, I don't know if anybody has seen Stewie's Untold Story, Family Guy.
Mm-mm.
I think
You have,
so.
well, part of it is, Stewie meets himself from the future, and he's able to come back because time travel is like a vacation type thing. And the future self says how he went back to biblical times, and he's like, and he goes, Jesus's like abilities, I'm afraid, were greatly exaggerated, and it has him being like da 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 da. And doing a whole bunch of like magic tricks with his hands, and that's how he convinced everyone that he was the son of God. And, and it's hilarious, but you wonder if like got your nose, like if that would actually, or you pull a quarter out from their ear, if that would actually work back then.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how old magic tricks are, like illusions are.
Yeah, so
Because maybe they've just been doing that for millennia, but instead of a quarter, it's a fucking rock.
That's very true. And you wonder if you do something like that, if they would then burn you at the stake.
Yeah, no, in those periods, you're much more likely to just get stoned. And not in the good way.
It's amazing how many times you try to convince somebody you're from the future, where the result is you get burned at the stake.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
we're gonna have self-driving chariots and
self-driving
telephones.
What's a
And
telephone?
you'll be able to like imprint your voice on a piece of wax, and then I get whacked and die.
Yeah, I think if you go back in the past, like too far into the past, you're probably going to die. If you try to convince people of who you are,
or just by the diseases.
I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I guess no, because I mean, a lot of those diseases are technically still around today. We've been inoculated.
Not smallpox.
We've been inoculated from smallpox.
No, it just got eradicated. We don't get vaccinated for it anymore.
I thought it was back. Wasn't it back?
I think it is. I think it was in like a remote place. And then, I mean, we have like stockpiles of vaccines, so we can always make them if we need them. But people aren't vaccinated for smallpox at a regular rate now because we eradicated that, and polio as well. Nobody gets vaccinated for polio either. But yeah, we're getting way too technical on this question.
We are not medical experts, everybody. So do not take anything that we have said in the past 5 minutes as
the opinions expressed on this show are not medical advice nor opinion.
Maybe I should put that into the intro. The opinions given.
Yeah. Just use your Just use your radio show intro for this as well.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
that question might be why aliens come in their UFOs, look around, but don't actually land and say, "Hey, we're here." They're afraid they're going to get burned at the stake.
Yeah, you're right. You're afraid we're gonna murder them because we will.
Oh yeah, especially if they land in like Texas. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd be like, "Take me to your leader," and you boom, they get shot halfway through a sentence.
Yep.
Yeah, people are crazy, and I think aliens are smart enough to know that. There's actually, I hope it's on here, and I don't know if it is or not. And I don't think it is, and I'm so sad about that. But there was, let me see if I can find it. It's a meme that I saw passed around a long time ago, and it was like why aliens don't like land. Let's see if I can find it. But it was basically like we're just very weird people. I'm not finding it, which is awful. Anyway, Sam, why don't you go ahead if you've thought of anything? And I'm going to try and find this because I really want to.
I haven't thought of anything.
Are you kidding me?
No. I had 6 hours of classes today. My brain doesn't work anymore. You could try to find a Reddit story or something. Unless you want to pull one out you already have on hand.
I mean, I can. Give me. I'm now, like, seriously so disappointed that I'm not home right now. Boo! Because it was funny. All right. So, I'm going to go and use something that we didn't get to. Let me see if it's something quick. All right.
Or if anybody that's watching right now has something they want to ask us, go ahead and put it in the chat and we will talk about it.
Nobody ever does that. It's
Well,
terrible.
I'm just putting it out there again.
I know, and you should. But okay, so here's something. All right, so this is a question, and the question is: anyone else get random visitors? My house is not haunted, but a few times a week I hear, or see things. I can feel a presence, but it doesn't stay, and it changes. Sometimes it's a creepy feeling. Sometimes it's just I don't feel alone right now, even though I am, and sometimes it's a dreadful feeling. I know feelings aren't reliable. It's as if there is a highway for ghosts to drop in and mess with me, and then they move right on along. I'm just curious if anyone else has experiences like this, that the encounters and feelings with them change a lot.
So they said seeing things and hearing things?
Yeah, he says a few times a week I hear or see things. But he doesn't go into, the thing is that he says he hears or see things, and then the whole rest of this thing is all about how he feels it.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how to.
Yeah, this one's tricky. As with all of these, we need more detail on like what are you seeing, what are you hearing? Is it repeating? Is it basically the same thing every time? Is it like stuff that seems like really far-fetched to be reality? Because then I would go more into the psychosis route rather than paranormal. Not saying they have, schizophrenia or another psychotic disorder. I'm just saying that it's a possibility. A lot of people don't know they're having hallucinations. If they're hallucinations that seem like they could be, a spirit or something like that trying to talk to them, or a presence or something like that. Also, like if you're having those experiences, I would not say your house is not haunted. Then I would say, maybe it's not the house that's haunted, but maybe you have some sensitive psychic powers that you're not aware of, that is attracting spirits to come and visit you, and then they just don't stay for whatever reason. There could be a lot of a lot of possibilities for this. But I mean, honestly, if it's not bothering you that much and it's not like scaring you, then, you know, I don't know. I don't think you have anything to worry about, really. But yeah, maybe they're clairaudient, just hearing things like that or something along those lines.
Very true. What do you think, Scott?
So, so this person is seeing and hearing things in their home.
Yes.
Okay. Oh. I give.
I'm sorry. In between your thing, I was trying to hear what.
Oh, yeah, that's my brother in the other room. He's playing a game.
Gotcha. I just thought the timing of that was amazing.
I think Sam did a good job with what he said. I would want to, like he said, I would like to know what he heard, what he saw, what he was smoking or drinking at the time. You know, I want more information. You know, and I'd probably tell him, you know, set up a DVR or something and take some videos and see if he can video anything, you know, or find some other, or brings us in or somebody else in to investigate it for you. But no, but see if they can come up with any evidence of anything actually happening, or you know, or if you are on the wrong kind of medication or whatever. Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
Well, the other thing that could be the cause of this is obviously EMF. You know, if he's ultra sensitive, it
True.
it pretty much fits everything. I mean, it even
Yeah.
causes hallucinations. It causes the feelings of being watched. It feels, you know, the maybe one time, maybe depending on uh, where he is in his bed or whatever, you know, for far away from the source or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
is this night he feels something bad. This night he feels, uh, you know, just something there. It's yeah, there it is. But yeah, so I mean, I would definitely need more. I would need to know if it's interactive or if it is just feelings. Like I'm not alone. Because I mean, he definitely could be getting visited, and as soon as whatever spirit comes in, you know, sees that they're not going to get help or that he's not going to interact with them or whatever, or he tells them to go away, they do it. Um, but yeah, um, I would definitely say like more information is needed. So I'm going to read this one that Dave and I did on Monday because it can go a lot of different routes, and like everything fits in one category except for like this little section. And I'd like to see how you guys answer this, especially since it's from, you know, like a person who doesn't believe. So it's entitled "Something Is Wrong." This person writes in, I don't know anything about this crap. I've been an atheist for most of my life, never believed in anything paranormal. A few years ago in 2014, I moved into a house. From the get go, weird things started happening, unexplainable things. Cabinets in the bathroom opening on their own, pictures falling off the wall, and the dog just barking at nothing. My kids were complaining that their room was scary. Never heard this complaint from them before, and we have moved several times. There was something unsettling about the entire lower level of this home, where my kids' rooms were, and always the hallway and bathroom on the second floor. This hallway led to my bedroom. The rest of the house was fine. This hallway on the second floor was absolutely frightening, and we were all terrified of it. We kept the door to that hallway shut at all times. I felt crazy in that house. I've moved 13 times in my life. I've never had a problem with any home I've lived in. 2 years ago, 2 years go by, and these things just become normal in this house. Then suddenly one day, everything stops. It just went away. No more uneasy feelings, no more weird shit happening. We eventually move on later to get my kids in a better school district. We have been in our new home for 3 years now. Recently, our sunroom has been giving me the same uneasy feeling that our old house gave me. Now the kids are complaining about not wanting to be in or near the sunroom. I've not mentioned that it has been bothering me also. Can someone tell me what the hell might be going on? I feel like we are being watched all the time. I feel insane. I feel like I'm being followed by bad energy from our old house. I know this sounds crazy. I feel like an idiot bringing this up to anyone. Help.
It doesn't say how old the kids are, does it?
It does not.
When you were describing the first part of it in the old house, is my first thought was a poltergeist, but that's not necessarily the feelings that he had, the uneasy feelings and the new stuff at the new house don't necessarily fit with poltergeist. Um, um, so I don't know what he's experiencing, but no. He needs to have us come in and take a look.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit troubling, like the kind of oppression that is happening. Uh, I'm not saying it's a demon, but I'm also, this is probably the first time I'm saying, especially like after talking to Reverend Schrader and stuff like that, learning more about demonic hauntings, where I'm just, it's starting to get those vibes of like the kind of oppressive force, and the way he's talking is like, it seems like it's very much weighing on him. It could be any sort of spirit attachment, really. But you know, it seems to be following the family around, so it makes me lean towards to some type of attachment, you know, especially with the, you know, the family not liking certain parts of the house. Maybe that energy was in that house when they moved in, and just somehow it just worked its way into the family or into the writer of the story or something along those lines. Um, yeah, it's curious and a little bit troubling. Um, yeah, because you don't want to be afraid in your own house, and it seems like that's kind of what's happening, a sort of oppressive sort of force in the house making everybody uncomfortable. And I don't know, maybe the spirit is in it for the long haul and it just might start getting worse. That's what I fear, to be honest. So I don't know, for some reason this story stuck out to me, of just like, it didn't give me very good vibes.
Because remember, everything stopped,
Yeah.
suddenly, and then they're in this new house for 3 years before anything started to make them feel uncomfortable in one room. And that it was just the lower level, and then the second floor, like bathroom and hallway. Otherwise, the
Mhm.
rest of the house was fine. Nor did it ever say that anybody has ever been attacked.
Yeah.
It's always, it's either the cupboards, the cabinets, the pictures, or bad feelings. And that's pretty much been it. So what kind of stuck out to me is, there's two things, obviously, the cabinets and the pictures. But otherwise, everything can be explained by EMF. Everything. Especially if they are ultra sensitive, which I would assume that they probably are. And so, I mean, what Dave and I kind of talked about was, cabinets. A lot of things can explain the cabinets. Um, they're very, very well lubricated. so they open on a dime. Or maybe if they're like the magnetic ones where you put it in the magnets, well, they wear out, and maybe the magnets aren't holding them anymore. Pictures falling off the wall can be, depends on how often that happens, but I mean, a big truck driving by can vibrate a picture off a wall.
Earthquakes.
Well, it didn't say where, what, but I would really think that if there's an earthquake big enough to knock pictures off the wall, they're going to know that it's an earthquake.
Maybe, or just maybe the tremors are just not that noticeable. You can live in areas where earthquakes are not like the big ones you hear about in like California, but they can just be little shakes in the ground.
Very true. So there just seemed to be there could be natural explanations for the non-feeling type stuff. And this kind of brought up another question, two questions actually, because, and I think that this is something that we are going to probably experience at some point in time, and that is dealing with people who are experiencing stuff like this, but it is just EMF. And because one of the things that Dave brought up is the fact that everything just suddenly stopped. And that's weird because usually you don't see that ever. It may wind down or whatever, or it may become less frequent, that sort of thing, but it always seems to be there. But just stopping, like that's something new. And I realized while we were talking about it that people who aren't in the paranormal, and a lot of our clients are not, like they don't know anything about it, they are never going to understand what like powerful EMF is. And so if they are experiencing that, and by just sheer happenstance, let's say they start remodeling, or they decide to upgrade their wiring, or they change out appliances, if they get rid of the problem unknowingly, and all of that EMF goes away or becomes shielded, all of their experiences are going to go away too. But they're never going to attribute one to the other. Nobody, unless they're part of the paranormal, is going to be like, oh, ever since we put in that laundry, the washer and dryer, we haven't had bad feelings in the basement anymore. Like nobody's going to do that because they don't even know what the problem is. And I think that that's something that we definitely need to be aware of going forward with certain cases. But here's the second question, and this is kind of a follow-up for you guys. Do you think animals get affected by EMF?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a reason why they wouldn't.
So do you think that maybe dogs barking at nothing? We always attribute it to their senses are more in tune, or maybe they hear something in the walls, or they smell something that they don't understand. But do you think that they are going through the exact same paranoia that maybe we are due to EMF? Like they feel a threat that's not really there?
Yeah, I think it's entirely possible. And also, like, if you play a certain frequency on your phone, your dog is going to start barking because that's their only.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only response is like something weird is happening, so I'm going to bark to try to scare it away or whatever, So I see no reason why they wouldn't also be affected by it. And obviously they don't know the concept of electricity even. So yeah, I think it's entirely possible.
Go ahead, Scott.
Now, an EMF could put out an audio vibration that a dog can actually hear. And they would bark at that. Wondering what that sound they're hearing coming from.
Or
Because
honestly,
we
just the
can't.
appliance that's also giving off EMF could just
Yeah.
be giving off that frequency as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
We
Boys
made
Night
it.
Out. Boys
We
Night
made
Out
it.
is done. That's right. Women schmimmin. Am I right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry if either.
If they're
So,
watching, I wouldn't want to say that.
that's all right. I'm sure they expect it from me. But yeah, Haley and Lauren, if you're watching this, we miss you. So, okay. Well, that does it for us here tonight. Tune in next week when I'm hoping, I don't know for sure, we might have a special guest, but for sure, hopefully Lauren and Haley will be back with us. Sam can ask his philosophical question, which I'm really looking forward to. Why are you
Yeah.
doing that?
Me too. I don't know. I'm just doing something.
That looks weird. So, okay, we're going to go now. So, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. We want to see you back here next week. Everybody have a great night.